Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that the immigration process to the United States just became faster, smoother, and possibly easier than it has been in years. For millions of people around the world waiting for their chance to study, work, or build a life in America, 2026 might be the turning point no one expected. Because something big is happening inside the U.S. immigration system. Quiet policy adjustments, faster processing technologies, and major workflow changes are starting to reshape how visas and green cards are approved. And if you've ever waited months or even years for immigration updates, this could be the news you've been hoping for. Reports are now pointing to faster green card processing, quicker visa approvals, and reduced backlogs across several immigration categories. That means some applicants could see their cases move forward far sooner than anticipated. For students dreaming of American universities, professionals planning careers in the U.S., and families waiting to reunite, these changes could dramatically alter the timeline of their future. But here's the part many people still don't know. While some pathways may become faster, new rules, updated priorities, and important eligibility factors are also being introduced at the same time. And missing just one detail could mean delays or even losing your opportunity altogether. So what exactly is changing in 2026? Who benefits the most from these faster approvals? And what steps should you take right now if you're planning to apply for a U.S. visa or green card? Stay with us, because in this video we're breaking down everything you need to know about the 2026 U.S. immigration changes that could shape your future. And before we dive in, make sure you hit the like button and support the channel so more people can stay informed about these important updates. Right now, across immigration offices, online application systems, and government databases, something important is unfolding. Changes inside the U.S. immigration system in 2026 are beginning to reshape how long people wait, how applications are reviewed, and how quickly decisions are made. For years, applicants around the world have been stuck in long lines of paperwork, endless case tracking, and frustrating delays that sometimes stretched for months or even years. But the conversation surrounding immigration processing has started to shift, and many applicants are noticing signs that the system is moving faster than it has in a long time. Behind the scenes, U.S. immigration agencies have been under increasing pressure to deal with the massive backlog of visa and green card applications that piled up over the last several years. Pandemic disruptions, staffing shortages, and surging demand created a perfect storm that slowed the system dramatically. At one point, millions of applications were sitting in queues waiting to be reviewed. Families waiting to reunite felt stuck. Skilled workers hoping to begin careers in the United States saw their plans delayed again and again. International students watched their timelines slip further away. But throughout 2025 and now moving into 2026, several administrative changes and modernization efforts have started to push the system in a different direction. One of the biggest developments has been the expansion of digital processing systems. For decades, immigration processing relied heavily on physical paperwork. Files were printed, mailed, sorted, and physically transferred between departments. Every step created potential delays. Now, much of that paperwork is moving into fully digital systems. Electronic filing platforms have been upgraded, automated case tracking has improved, and officers can review documents faster than before. Instead of waiting weeks for a file to be transferred from one office to another, many cases can now move electronically within minutes. Applicants are beginning to notice the difference when they check their case status updates. Cases that previously sat untouched for months are now showing signs of movement sooner than expected. Some applicants are receiving requests for additional evidence more quickly, while others are seeing interview notices arrive earlier than predicted. These changes may seem small individually, but together they are beginning to shorten overall processing timelines for certain visa categories. Green card processing is one area where these improvements are drawing significant attention. For many immigrants, obtaining permanent residency is the ultimate goal after years of temporary visas and work permits. The process traditionally required multiple stages, including background checks, document verification, interviews, and final approvals. Each stage could add weeks or months to the timeline. In 2026, adjustments in how these stages are handled are beginning to streamline the journey toward permanent residency. Part of this acceleration is coming from new strategies designed to reduce case backlogs. Immigration authorities have reassigned officers to focus specifically on older cases that have been waiting the longest. Specialized teams are reviewing files that were delayed during earlier years, clearing out large portions of the backlog that once slowed the entire system. By addressing these older cases, officers can free up space in the system and process newer applications more efficiently. Technology is also playing a role in how background checks are conducted. In the past, certain security checks required coordination across multiple agencies, often creating long pauses in the process. New data sharing systems now allow agencies to exchange information more quickly, which means applicants may spend less time waiting for those checks to be completed. Faster communication between agencies reduces the risk of files sitting idle while different departments wait for responses. Another shift that applicants are noticing involves interview scheduling. In previous years, interview appointments could take months to arrange due to limited availability at immigration offices. As staffing levels stabilize and offices expand their capacity, more interview slots are becoming available. Some applicants who expected to wait half a year for an interview are now receiving appointments in a much shorter time frame. For international students, the conversation around visa approvals has also started to evolve. The United States remains one of the most popular destinations for higher education, and demand for student visas continues to grow every year. During earlier periods of heavy backlog, students sometimes worried about whether their visas would arrive before their academic programs began. Faster processing improvements are now helping consulates handle student visa applications more efficiently, allowing many students to receive decisions sooner. Professionals seeking work visas are paying close attention as well. Employment-based immigration has long been one of the most competitive pathways into the United States. Employers sponsor workers with specialized skills, hoping to bring talent into industries ranging from technology and healthcare to engineering and research. When processing slows, companies face uncertainty about hiring timelines and project planning. Improvements in visa review systems are now helping certain employment categories move through the pipeline with fewer delays. Of course, faster processing does not mean the system has become simple. Immigration remains one of the most detailed and carefully regulated processes in government administration. Every application must still meet strict eligibility requirements, provide accurate documentation, and pass security reviews. What the recent changes are doing is removing some of the logistical delays that once slowed down even well-prepared applications. Applicants themselves are also adapting to the new digital environment. Online filing systems now allow people to submit documents, track updates, and respond to requests electronically. Instead of mailing paperwork across continents and waiting weeks for confirmation, applicants can upload files instantly. This shift not only speeds up communication but also reduces the risk of lost documents or incomplete submissions. Another important development involves expanded premium processing services for certain immigration categories. Premium processing allows applicants to pay an additional fee for faster case review within a guaranteed timeframe. While this option has existed for some visa categories in the past, the program has gradually expanded to cover more types of applications. For individuals or employers who need quicker decisions, this pathway offers an additional way to reduce waiting times. At the same time, immigration authorities are continuing to adjust their priorities based on national needs and policy goals. Some visa categories may receive faster attention depending on economic demand, workforce shortages, or humanitarian considerations. This means applicants should stay informed about how policy shifts could affect the timeline for their specific category. Another factor influencing processing speed is the increasing use of data analytics within immigration systems. By studying patterns in application data, agencies can identify bottlenecks and allocate resources where they are needed most. If a particular office becomes overloaded with cases, work can sometimes be redistributed to other offices with more capacity. This flexible approach allows the system to respond more dynamically to changes in application volume. For many applicants, the psychological impact of faster movement can be just as important as the timeline itself. Waiting for immigration decisions often brings stress and uncertainty. People plan their lives around these outcomes, whether that means relocating families, starting jobs, enrolling in universities, or making long-term financial decisions. When updates arrive sooner, applicants gain clarity about their future earlier than expected. However, the improvements in processing speed also come with a new challenge. Applicants must be prepared to respond quickly. When immigration officers request additional documents or schedule interviews, the response windows may be shorter because the system itself is moving faster. Applicants who delay responses could risk slowing their own cases even as the overall process becomes more efficient. Legal experts and immigration advisors are encouraging applicants to prepare their documentation carefully before submitting applications. Having financial records, identity documents, educational credentials, and supporting evidence ready in advance can make a major difference once a case begins moving through the system. In a faster environment, preparation becomes even more important. Another area of attention involves family-based immigration. Many families have been waiting years to reunite through sponsorship programs. While visa quotas and eligibility rules still determine how quickly these cases can move, administrative improvements are helping ensure that once a visa becomes available, the approval process itself proceeds more smoothly. Across social media and immigration forums, applicants are sharing stories of receiving updates sooner than expected. Some report that cases filed months ago are already progressing to stages that previously took much longer to reach. Others describe receiving interview notices earlier than predicted by traditional processing estimates. These stories are creating cautious optimism among people who have spent years navigating the immigration system. Still, immigration professionals often remind applicants that timelines can vary widely depending on individual circumstances. Country quotas, visa categories, and application completeness all influence how quickly a case moves forward. What the recent improvements offer is the possibility that many applicants may experience shorter waits compared to previous years. As the system continues evolving throughout 2026, immigration agencies are expected to keep refining their digital infrastructure and staffing strategies. Additional automation tools may further accelerate routine steps in the application process. These tools can assist officers by organizing documents, flagging missing information, and prioritizing urgent cases. By reducing manual workload, officers can spend more time reviewing complex applications that require deeper evaluation. For applicants around the world, these developments represent a moment of cautious hope. The idea that immigration processing could become more predictable and efficient is something many people have been waiting for. While no system can eliminate every delay, the current changes suggest that the U.S. immigration process is entering a new phase shaped by technology, modernization, and a renewed focus on clearing long-standing backlogs. As thousands of applications continue moving through the pipeline every day, the effects of these changes are becoming more visible. People checking their case statuses are noticing subtle but meaningful signs of progress. Immigration officers are adapting to updated systems that allow them to work more efficiently. And applicants everywhere are watching closely, knowing that even a small improvement in processing speed can make a life-changing difference in how quickly their dreams of living, studying, or working in the United States become reality. At the same time, the demand for visas and green cards continues to grow globally, which means the immigration system must constantly adapt to keep up with rising application numbers. Each year, more students apply to American universities, more companies search internationally for skilled workers, and more families seek opportunities to reunite across borders. This increasing demand is one of the main reasons immigration authorities are investing heavily in modernization efforts designed to keep the system moving. One of the most noticeable changes applicants are discussing in 2026 is the improved transparency surrounding case tracking. In earlier years, many people felt as though their applications disappeared into a black box after submission. Weeks or months could pass with little information about where the case stood or what step might come next. Today, updated online portals provide more detailed status updates, helping applicants understand the progress of their files in real time. These tracking systems now display clearer messages when a case moves from one stage to another. Applicants may see updates indicating that background checks have begun, documents are under review, or interviews are being scheduled. While the system still cannot reveal every internal step, the additional transparency allows people to feel more connected to the process instead of waiting in complete uncertainty. Immigration officers themselves are also adapting to these technological changes. Training programs have been expanded to help staff use digital tools more effectively, allowing them to review electronic files quickly and communicate with applicants through secure online systems. This shift reduces the administrative burden that once came with handling massive volumes of paper files. Another important element contributing to faster decisions involves the standardization of application review procedures. By creating clearer guidelines and digital checklists for officers, agencies are reducing the variation that sometimes occurred between different offices or reviewers. Standardized workflows help ensure that similar cases are evaluated in consistent ways, which can speed up the approval process for straightforward applications. At the same time, the immigration system continues to emphasize accuracy and security. Even as processing speeds improve, every application must still pass through detailed verification steps. Identity checks, employment verification, and security screenings remain critical components of the review process. The difference now is that technology allows these checks to happen more efficiently without sacrificing oversight. For applicants preparing to submit new visa or green card applications in 2026, these developments highlight the importance of accuracy from the very beginning. Because the system can move faster, mistakes or missing documents may also be discovered sooner. Ensuring that applications are complete and correctly prepared helps applicants benefit from the improved processing speeds instead of facing delays caused by avoidable errors. Employers sponsoring international workers are also adjusting their strategies as processing times shift. Companies that once planned hiring timelines around long visa waits may now find opportunities to bring talent into the United States more quickly. This could have ripple effects across industries where specialized expertise is in high demand, particularly in technology, healthcare, engineering, and research fields. Universities are observing similar trends among international students. Faster visa approvals can provide students with greater certainty about travel plans, housing arrangements, and academic schedules. When students receive their visas earlier, they can focus on preparing for their studies instead of worrying about last-minute delays. At the center of all these changes is a broader effort to modernize one of the most complex administrative systems in government. Immigration touches millions of lives and involves coordination across multiple agencies, embassies, and departments. Updating such a system requires years of planning, investment, and policy adjustments. The developments unfolding in 2026 represent just one phase of that ongoing transformation. For applicants watching these changes closely, the most important message is that preparation and awareness remain key. Understanding eligibility requirements, gathering documentation early, and staying informed about policy updates can make a significant difference in how smoothly an application moves through the process. Across immigration communities